All right, ready to dive into some really cool travel tips. You guys sent in some awesome stuff, especially this one: 10 safety mistakes travelers need to avoid traveling in my 70s. Clearly, someone's got their eye on adventure. And hey, good advice is timeless, right?
Absolutely. Age is just a number when it comes to exploring.
So true. Think of this deep dive as packing your mental safety kit. We're going way beyond the usual be careful stuff. Let's turn those common mistakes into like travel superpowers. And lucky for us, we've got expert speaker who's like the ultimate travel guru. They've got the inside scoop on staying safe, A&D, having an amazing
It's
time.
all about being prepared, right? A little planning goes a long way.
Okay, so this source jumps right in with a list: 10 common safety slip-ups. I'm a sucker for a good list, makes everything feel doable. What do you think makes this format so effective, especially for travelers?
It's like that pre-trip checklist vibe. Helps tame those what-if worries. Having a plan, even for safety, can really boost your confidence no matter how much you've traveled before.
It's like having a pre-flight checklist, but for your whole adventure.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of pre-flight, let's talk about mistake number one: skipping destination research. I've been there, trust me. Landed in this tiny village once, no ATMs, cash only. Talk about a crash course.
Oh, those travel tales are the best teachers, aren't they?
Well,
You highlight a crucial point. Research is the foundation of a great trip. It's not just about skimming those travel advisories, though those are important. It's about tapping into the wisdom of other travelers. Travel forums, social media groups, those are gold mines.
yes, it's like having a network of travel mentors, all those first-hand tips. And you know, I used to think was optional? Travel insurance. But this source, it's like a wake-up call.
It's the ultimate better to have it and not need it situation. People often fixate on medical emergencies, which are important, of course, but it goes so much deeper. Imagine this. You reach your dream destination, but your luggage, well, it decides to take a different trip.
Oh no, the dreaded lost luggage nightmare.
Exactly. Having that lost baggage coverage can be a lifesaver. And then there are the trip cancellations, missed
No.
connections, even needing evacuation. Having that safety net can really ease your mind.
It's like having a safety net for your whole trip.
It empowers you to actually relax and enjoy the journey knowing you're covered.
Okay, this next one made me laugh because I am so guilty of it. Flaunting valuables publicly. You get that new camera, the cool watch, you got to show it off right.
I get it. We want to capture those memories. But honestly, sometimes blending in is the best way to stand out, especially as a traveler. It doesn't mean sacrificing those amazing photos, though.
So, how do we strike that balance? Capturing memories while keeping our belongings safe?
It's all about smart choices. Anti-theft bags are a must-have. Discreet money belts, those are great too. And don't forget about digital backups. Scan your passport, ID, all those important documents, and store them securely online.
Like a digital safety deposit box. I love that. Okay, this next one is something I'm definitely working on: losing situational awareness. Especially when you're excited, senses on overload in a new place, that's when things can go missing.
Ah, the sensory feast of travel. It's about finding that balance, right? Being present, but staying alert. I have a little trick I use, especially in crowded spots. Pick a landmark, maybe a colorful shop or sign. Every so often, use it as a visual cue to check in with yourself and your surroundings.
I love that. Such a simple but effective way to stay aware.
It really works, especially in those bustling markets or packed streets. Those little mental check-ins can make all the difference. And while we're on the topic of being prepared, let's talk about those health precautions. The source calls it ignoring health and vaccination requirements. And for good reason,
It's not the most glamorous part of planning for sure, but it's crucial.
right? And it goes beyond vaccinations, though those are non-negotiable. A well-stocked travel first aid kit, that's your best friend. Pain relievers, allergy meds, blister bandages packed for the unexpected.
Like packing for every possible version of your trip. I even pack a card with my blood type and allergies, just in case.
Brilliant. It's all about those extra layers of preparation. Now let's talk about something close to my heart: cultural sensitivity. The source calls it disregarding local laws and customs, and it's a mistake that can really impact your experience.
Absolutely. It's about being a respectful guest, honoring the places we visit. I once wore shorts to a temple in Thailand. Talk about an embarrassing lesson in cultural awareness.
We all have those moments, right?
Right.
It's those experiences that teach us to be more mindful. A little pre-trip research on local customs can go a long way.
Speaking of enriching experiences, I have to confess I am so guilty of this next one: relying exclusively on digital navigation tools.
Ah, the digital dilemma. Those apps are amazing, don't get me wrong. But imagine your phone takes an unexpected swim, or the battery decides to call it a day.
My phone actually died on a hiking trip once. Got turned around, no signal it was. An adventure, let's just say.
Yeah,
Now, I always pack a good old-fashioned map and compass.
that's smart. It's all about those low-tech backups. Even just getting familiar with landmarks, knowing, say, the big clock tower is east of the river, those mental notes can be surprisingly helpful.
Like having your own internal compass.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about where you rest your head at night. I'm all for a good deal, but this next one is important, compromising on accommodation security.
Yes, where you stay really impacts your peace of mind.
Exactly. And it goes beyond the neighborhood or type of place you're staying. This is where online reviews are your best friend. Look for mentions of secure access, well-lit areas, in-room safes. Those little details matter. And don't hesitate to ask for a different room if something doesn't feel right.
And once you're in, do a quick safety check. Make sure windows and doors are secure, better safe than sorry.
Creating that sense of personal security wherever you are is so important. Okay, now for a topic that's all about proactive planning, lacking an emergency plan.
That's the hope for the best, prepare for the unexpected part of traveling.
Exactly. Before you even pack your bags, jot down those local emergency numbers, embassy or consulate info. Even learning a few basic phrases in the local language can be incredibly helpful if you need help.
I keep a small card with all that info in my wallet, alongside emergency contacts back home. It's like my little travel safety net. And now for the grand finale, the one that really resonated with me. Ignoring gut feelings about safety. I'm all about trusting your intuition, especially while traveling.
It's your internal compass, that sixth sense we have. If something feels off a place, a person, a situation, don't ignore it. You are the expert on your own safety, so trust those instincts.
I'm reminded of this time I was walking back to my hotel late at night and got this uneasy feeling. Decided to take a detour even though it was longer. Turns out there had been some robberies on my original route. My gut literally kept me safe.
You see, that's intuition in action. It's about learning to differentiate between those travel jitters and genuine red flags. Our bodies often pick up on cues long before our conscious minds do.
It's about listening to that inner voice, right? This source is incredible. It's like a master class in travel safety, not just telling you what to do, but why it's important. And that FAQ section at the end, pure gold. It's like having a personal safety consultant on call.
I love how it breaks down those tricky situations and provides practical solutions. Speaking of breaking things down, how about we take a quick pause, grab a drink, and then come back to unpack even more safety strategies.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be back in a flash with more travel wisdom. Don't go anywhere.
And we're back, ready for round 2 of Travel Safety Secrets. You know, going through all these tips, it really hits you. It's not about being fearless. It's about being savvy.
Absolutely. Knowledge is your best travel buddy. You're ready for anything. Which, honestly, is part of the fun of traveling. So true. Speaking of unexpected adventures, this next part of the source dives into those tricky tourist traps. You know, the ones designed to catch you off guard. We've all been there. Caught up in the excitement and then bam, hit with that too good to be true situation.
Oh, those scams are like a global phenomenon. Always changing, always adapting. They play on our enthusiasm, our desire to embrace new experiences, but being aware, that's your secret weapon.
All right, spill the secrets. What are some common traps travelers should watch out for, and how do we avoid them?
Okay, picture this. You're at the Trevi Fountain, right?
Yeah.
Totally mesmerized, snapping photos, and someone bumps into you. Seems like an accident, yeah. But while you're distracted, their partner in crime swoops in and makes off with your stuff. Classic distraction theft.
Ugh, it makes me nervous just thinking about it. It's like they can sense when your guard is down.
It's all about awareness, especially in those crowded tourist spots. Here's another one. The overly helpful local. Someone offers to help with your bags or give you directions, but they're actually leading you astray and often end up demanding money for their help.
Oh, I've totally encountered that. It's tough because sometimes people genuinely want to help. How do you tell the difference?
That's where your gut instinct comes in. If someone's being pushy, steering you away from main areas, if something feels off, politely decline. And stick to getting help from official sources.
So hotel staff, local tourism offices, those are the go-tos for reliable info.
Exactly. All right, let's switch gears for a sec. Solo travel. It's an amazing way to see the world, but of course safety is even more important.
It's so empowering, traveling on your own terms. But I imagine it comes with unique challenges when it comes to safety. What does the source recommend for solo adventurers?
Staying connected is key. Share your itinerary with someone back home, someone you trust. Let them know where you're staying. and check in with them regularly. It's like having a virtual travel buddy.
Like a safety net, even when you're miles apart. I bet those digital backups we talked about earlier are extra crucial for solo travelers too, huh?
You got it. Having access to those important docs online, it's a lifesaver, especially if you're on your own. And don't underestimate the power of community, even when you're traveling solo.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Think about staying in social hostels or join group tours, even just for a day or two. There are even apps that connect you with other travelers. It's all about creating that network, even temporarily. You can share experiences and look out for each other.
All right, we are on the final stretch of our travel safety deep dive. Can you believe how much we've covered? Passports, packing, even those what were we thinking moments we've been there.
It's all about being prepared, right?
Yeah.
Those little tips and tricks can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And speaking of tools, let's circle back to one of the most powerful ones we have, our intuition. I love how this source stresses trusting your gut, which can be so important when you're out exploring a new place.
It's so often overlooked. In a world that's all about logic and planning, that quiet inner voice can get drowned out. But it's often our best defense,
Yeah.
especially in unfamiliar situations.
Like a built-in alarm system.
Exactly. And just like you wouldn't ignore a fire alarm, you shouldn't ignore those gut feelings. They're usually trying to tell you something important.
It's true. And I feel like the more we travel, the more fine-tuned that intuition gets, right? All those experiences, they sort of build up our internal safety database.
100%. Every trip, every encounter, it all adds to that internal library of, that seems a bit off. It's like our subconscious is looking out for us.
So let's say you're traveling and that little voice pipes up, something's not quite right here. What are some practical steps to address that feeling and stay safe?
First things first, don't dismiss it. Acknowledge that feeling. Don't brush it off as nerves or overthinking. Your intuition is picking up on something. Then take a moment to assess. Ask yourself, do I feel physically unsafe? Is there something specific about this environment that's setting off those alarm bells?
Even if you can't quite put your finger on it. If something feels off, it probably is, right?
Right. Trust your gut. And once you've figured out what's causing that uneasy feeling, you can take action. Maybe that means removing yourself from the situation, finding a more populated, well-lit area, or even contacting the local authorities if you need to.
Sometimes it's as simple as changing your plans. Skipping that solo walk at night, maybe grabbing a taxi instead of taking public transport. It's okay to prioritize your safety, even if it means switching things up a bit.
You've got it. Safety isn't about limiting your adventure. It's about giving you the confidence to really embrace it.
Yeah.
No more worrying in the back of your mind, just enjoying the experience to the fullest.
It's about traveling smart, not scared, right?
100%. And that's what this deep dive has been all about, giving you the tools to do just that.
It's been amazing. From pre-trip checklists to navigating those bustling markets like a pro and everything in between. I feel like I've leveled up my travel game for sure.
And remember, it's a journey, right? The more you travel, the more you learn, the stronger those safety instincts become.
So true. Now, for the million-dollar question, what dream destination will you be exploring with all this newfound travel wisdom? We want to hear all about it. Until next time, safe travels, everyone. May your journeys be filled with incredible experiences.